All right, guys, Week 14 just wrapped up. Well, everything except Chargers-Eagles on Monday night. And let me tell you, the AFC playoff picture just got absolutely flipped on its head. And because of everything that went down today, Monday night's matchup just became a must-win game for the Chargers. I'm going to be honest with you, I was relaxed for this one. If you've been following me, you already know I basically chalked this up as a loss. But after today, nope, that's completely changed. The Chargers have to win this game now. So let me walk you through exactly what happened across the conference because everything looks different all of a sudden. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. So, coming into this week, the Chargers were sitting in that fifth playoff spot at 8-4. Pretty comfortable, right? Nothing crazy. But 4 games went down this weekend that directly impacted our playoff path. And honestly, a couple of these results made Monday night's matchup with the Eagles way more important than anyone expected. Let's start with Colts-Jaguars. This game wasn't even remotely competitive. Jacksonville steamrolled the Colts 36-19. And just like that, the Jaguars are now 9-4, sitting in the third playoff spot, leading their division. That basically removes another potential wildcard spot from the table. Meanwhile, the Colts dropped to 8-5, slipped to 8th place, and their quarterback got hurt during the game. He's probably out for a couple weeks. So the Colts suddenly looked vulnerable. That's one less immediate threat, but Jacksonville becoming even more dangerous definitely complicates things. Next, the Bills hosted the Bengals, and man, that game was wild. Buffalo pulled off this crazy comeback and won 39-34. They're now 9-5, and yup, they jumped right into that 5th seed, our seed. Just like that, we dropped to 6th. The Bills are getting hot at the worst possible time for us. That's not great. But here's the result that really changed everything for me. Texans-Chiefs. I'm going to be real with you. Yes, I was rooting for Kansas City in this one. I know, it's division rivals. But listen, the Chiefs came into this game 6-6 in 9th place, basically hanging by a thread. The Texans were 7-5 in 8th place. So if the Chiefs won, they'd go to 7-6 and still stay buried. Not really a threat to us. But instead, Houston beat Kansas City. So now the Texans jump to 8-5 and move into the 7th seed right above the Colts. Houston is now a legitimate playoff threat that we have to keep our eyes on. The good news is Kansas City dropped to 6-7 down to 10th place, and honestly, they're pretty much cooked for the year. But the Texans, we still have to play them. And after today, that game gets even more important. Then we had Steelers-Ravens, and Aaron Rodgers played one of the best games I've seen from him in years. The Steelers won 27-22, moved to 7-13, and jumped into the 4th seed as division leaders. Meanwhile, the Ravens fell to 6-13 and dropped to 9th place. They're basically out of realistic contention now. One less team to worry about. So let's talk about where all this leaves the Chargers. We're 8-4, we're in the 6th seed. Our playoff chances? 65% right now. But Monday night changes everything. If we beat the Eagles and move to 9-4, our playoff odds jump to 77%, and we move back into the 5th seed, above Buffalo. That's huge. But if we lose and drop to 8-5, our odds fall to 54%. And suddenly we're in that dreaded in the hunt section. The Texans own a tiebreaker over us in common games. The Colts own a tiebreaker because of head-to-head. Suddenly we're looking up at teams we should be ahead of. And don't forget, we've got the 4th most difficult remaining schedule in the entire NFL. We cannot afford slip-ups. Every single game matters now. But Monday night, this might be the biggest one of the entire season.
All right, now let's talk about this Eagles matchup because surprisingly, there's some really good news. Jalen Carter is out. He had surgery on both shoulders. That is absolutely massive for our offense because the interior offensive line has been our weakness all year. Carter is one of the best interior rushers in the league. Not having to face him, that is a literal gift from the football gods. Now we just need to take advantage of it. Our game plan should be simple. Run between the tackles way more than we usually do. Typically, we're better running outside, but without Carter clogging the middle, we should be able to attack whichever gaps we want, just avoid Jordan Davis, because he's still a monster. But here's the thing. The Eagles just gave up 281 rushing yards to the Bears on Black Friday. The Bears had 2 running backs go over 100 yards. Our coaching staff should be studying that tape all week. If Chicago exposed that weakness, we need to attack it too. And the timing couldn't be better, because Omarion Hampton is back. Activated off IR, expected to play Monday night. Greg Roman already said he's using both Hampton and Kamani Vidal as a 1-2 punch. Vidal was incredible last week, 126 yards and a touchdown. Now we add Hampton back in, suddenly our run game looks legit. They will manage Hampton's snaps, but even limited, this dude adds another dimension. Jamari Salyer is officially locked in at left tackle for the rest of the season. He gave up 2 pressures, including a sack last week against the Raiders, but he earned a 72.2 pass block grade and made a key block on Vidal's 59-yard touchdown run. That's huge. Offensive line continuity matters, and having Salyer settle into that spot is great news heading into these final games. Now let's address the big concern. Justin Herbert's hand. He fractured his left hand against the Raiders, had surgery, and now he's expected to play with a padded glove. Roman eliminated all under center plays after the injury because he didn't want to risk anything. Herbert hadn't even tried gripping the ball early in the week, but by the end, he was working on it in practice. If his grip is really limited, he might have to hand the ball off entirely with his right hand. Weird? Yes. Impossible? No. And speaking of under center plays, Jim Harbaugh and Roman admitted they regretted running shotgun on that 4th and 1 instead of sneaking it. They have Trey Lance on the roster for a reason, and there's talk about using him specifically for short yardage situations. Maybe he becomes the sneak guy. Maybe Roman draws up design runs for him so Herbert doesn't have to take hits. Expect some wrinkles in this game. Defensively, our #1 priority is keeping Jalen Hurts in the pocket. When plays extend, our coverages tend to fall apart. Hurts can absolutely make plays with his legs, but interestingly, there's been talk in Philly about him being reluctant to take off and run lately. Maybe that helps us. But still, collapsing the pocket with Khalil Mack and Tuli Tuipulotu is essential. We need to pressure him and make him uncomfortable. The Eagles' run game has struggled. They failed to hit 100 rushing yards 7 times this season. They only managed 87 yards last week, even with Saquon Barkley. Meanwhile, our defense held the Raiders to 31 rushing yards. Second time this year, we held someone under 40. And Lane Johnson might miss another game with that foot injury. If he's out, Mack could have a monster day. We're also expecting Otito Ogbonnia back from IR, which only strengthens our defensive tackle rotation. If we bottle up the run, we force Hurts to throw into our secondary. Now, red zone defense is huge. The Eagles scored touchdowns on 75.86% of their red zone trips, the best in the NFL. Our defense allows TDs 55.26% of the time, tied for 11th best. We have to win that battle. A.J. Brown is also on fire. Last Friday, he had 10 receptions, 100 yards and a touchdown for the first time in his career. He put up 132 yards. That's back-to-back 100-yard games for him, and 3 of his last 5. When he goes over 100 yards, the Eagles average 21.3. When he doesn't, they average 13. So slowing him down is absolutely crucial. The Eagles have been turning the ball over. After just 4 turnovers in their first 10 games, they've had 4 in their last 2, both losses. Hurts threw only his 2nd pick of the year last week. We force about 1.1 turnovers per game. Not great, but we've had 4 in our last 3. If we can force 1 or 2 mistakes, that could decide the game. But Herbert has thrown 10 interceptions this season. First time since 2022 he's hit double digits. He's been aggressive all year, and Philly has Quinn Mitchell, who allows just 41.9% completions in primary coverage, 2nd best in the league. If he tests him, Mitchell could absolutely come away with a play. 3rd down is massive. We're the best team in the AFC on 3rd down, 48.3% conversion rate, 2nd best in the entire NFL. Keenan Allen has 39 first down catches on 60 receptions this year. We're also 4th best on defense on 3rd down, allowing just 34.78%. If we win 3rd down on both sides, we're in great shape. The Eagles only have 24 sacks this season, 22nd in the league. Herbert has been sacked 38 times. They traded for Jalen Phillips, but he's in concussion protocol. If he's out and Carter's out, Herbert should have time to throw. That's where he's dangerous. So, my final prediction for this game, the Chargers winning 31-24, heavily lean on run game and pass rush to disrupt Hurts. So, the bottom line, guys, this game is absolutely massive. We're at 65% playoff odds right now. A win gets us to 77%. A loss drops us to 54%. The Jaguars won. The Bills won. The Texans won. The Steelers won. Everything tightened up. We've got the Eagles at home on Monday Night Football. We've got breaks with injuries. We've got Hampton back. We've got Salyer locked in. The pieces are there. The question is, which Chargers team shows up? This is it. This is where playoff teams prove they belong. Fourth toughest remaining schedule. 5 potential playoff teams left. Everything starts Monday night. Control the trenches, run the ball, protect Herbert, pressure Hurts, win third down, force turnovers, execute. Get to 9-4, build momentum, and head into the Kansas City game ready to make a statement. The AFC just got chaotic. Now it's our turn to respond.